You never think one day as a kid that you'll stop playing with these toys and it will become something real. For me, it became real. My toy became my first car, my first Jeep. It became my best friend, my mode of transportation, my ongoing project. I'm not the only one who saw things this way. My family did, and as does everyone else who owns a Jeep. This community is so vast, it becomes a second family to everyone involved.
My first Jeep was a 1998 Jeep Wrangler. It was a two-door, and it was this really pretty, like, pearlescent green color. Insert picture here. I got it in August of 2014, and I owned it for about 5 years. In those 5 years, it probably ran 3.5. Has seen a lot of better days than what I had it for, but for the time that I had it, it was basically my best friend. It actually was there for me more than a lot of the people in my life have been, but that's another story. It took me a lot of places, and it actually made me happy, even though it's just a car.
I'm not the only person who felt this way about my Jeep. My brother shares similar experiences as well. He was one of the inspirations for my love of the Jeep brand. He was what sparked me wanting to get a Jeep of my own when I turned 16. This love of cars was grown within each of us as kids. We played together despite our 5-year age gap, and even now we still have a bond that is tied by our love of cars, specifically our Jeeps.
Jeep family, the Jeep whole community is very strong, particularly with our family. It dates back to the Korean War. Our grandfather was in the 8th Army, and he was issued a Jeep. That's what they had, and they didn't have Humvees at the time. They had CJ7s. And so he drove that, and I listened to all the stories he had talking about crossing the Han River, flipping it, and flipping it back over, and getting back on it. He drove one in Korea. He talked very highly of it. And it kind of got the bug going for me. And then my father had a CJ7 as well, and the stories of his shenanigans that he would always get into was very enlightening on me, and I kind of wanted to experience that for myself, which I got into many instances with this where I probably shouldn't have been there, and but it's the thrill of the adventure. So that's kind of my snapshot on it. The experience within the Jeep community, it's very tight knit. My particular experience, I looked for a lot of forums like Jeep Forum and stuff like that. To get my information. There's a plethora of databases out there, and it's so vast, and there's so much information because people, it's like the American kind of way, Jeep won wars, so people just have a love for them.
That love for Jeeps all started in Butler, PA, which conveniently is only a half-hour drive from my hometown of Grove City. Production started years prior, and by 1940, they sent a prototype across seas to the U.S. Army to use in World War II. The company at the time was called Bantam Car Company. Jeeps were incredibly important to the war effort and became, for many, a symbol of American ingenuity. Fast forward 80 years, and now it is an off-road vehicle we all know and love. Butler, as a county, decided to create a festival that celebrates everything and anything Jeep. Bantam Jeep Festival started in 2011 and has been a yearly family attendance for us. Unfortunately, this year we were not able to attend due to COVID-19, and they canceled the original festival for the year. Later down the line, they had a smaller gathering to celebrate even in these crazy times and called it the Bantam Trail Festival, which was held October 2nd through the 4th of 2020. But in lieu of not being able to attend the festivities this year, we as a family always have a project in the garage and multiple stories to tell about past Jeep Fests. As far as my favorite memories from Jeep Fest come from my first year attending. It was in June 2015. The festival was holding a Jeep parade that started at BC3 College and ended in downtown Butler. The parade was a big affair and resulted in winning a Guinness Book of World Records for the largest Jeep parade, consisting of 2,420 Jeeps. That includes me and my brother. Since Jeeps are evidently a family and community thing, it can start at a much younger age than 16. A family friend of ours has instilled these thoughts and feelings into his son. He has been to Jeep Fest every year of his life. He even has his own little Jeep, just like his dad's. It's not just a local thing. There are a lot more festivals and places that celebrate Jeeps besides Butler's Bantam Jeep Fest. All over the country, there are multiple meetups and events for Jeeps and Jeep lovers alike. There are also many off-road parks. One that is a frequent visit for my family is Roche Creek. But they haven't only traveled there to go off-roading. My brother, my dad, and cousin Matthew have all gone out west with their Jeeps to get the real experience of nature's trails.
You know, just looking at a lot of the pictures where people take their Jeeps, that was very inspiring for me, because I took mine out to Colorado, and, my dad and I trailered it out there and hit a lot of trails out there. We actually did it for it was a organization against human trafficking. It was called Set Them Free Off-Road. So we were one of the only people to actually drive across country for that trip. We took the Jeep on the trails, and it was probably one of the most memorable things I've done with the Jeep. But yeah, it's a very good community to be a part of. It's almost like a brotherhood, so to speak, a sisterhood. But yeah, that's why I love it. It has that mantra about it.
I never had the chance to take my Jeep anywhere but Bantam Jeep Festival. But the impact of that festival is very similar. It's something different to experience.
It was eye-opening to see how many people are actually interested in Jeeps, not only as a brand, but it's like a community of its own. It's not a cult. It's just a lot of people that enjoy the same things that get together.
And those get-togethers turned into a family event for us. Regardless of the situation, Jeep as a brand has brought many people together over the years, whether it be for the war effort from the very beginning or a simple conversation starter when seeing a Jeep. It's always been a Jeep thing.